You've probably been told your whole life that fruits are always a smart choice, that they're nature's candy, that they cleanse, heal, and protect your body. That if you're experiencing digestive discomfort, the answer is to eat light, and that usually means fruit. But what if I told you that for millions of people, especially over the age of 50, some of the very fruits we're told to eat every day are quietly destroying our stomach lining, fueling chronic inflammation, and triggering that awful burning sensation in your chest? It sounds unbelievable. After all, fruits are rich in vitamins, packed with antioxidants, and come straight from nature. How could something so pure be the cause of something so painful? But here's the uncomfortable truth. Not all fruits are harmless. And for those already struggling with heartburn, reflux, or a sensitive digestive system, certain fruits can be ticking time bombs. Imagine this. A 62-year-old man switches to a healthier diet after years of eating processed foods. He cuts the fast food, ditches the soda, starts every morning with a bowl of mixed fruits, oranges, pineapple, strawberries, maybe a bit of watermelon. He does this for weeks, believing he's finally doing the right thing for his health. But something strange happens. Instead of feeling better, he feels worse. The burning in his throat intensifies. He starts waking up in the middle of the night with acid rising. His digestion slows down. He thinks maybe it's just adjusting to clean eating. But what's really happening is silent damage every single day. This story isn't rare. In fact, it's becoming alarmingly common, especially among older adults who are unknowingly doing everything right and yet getting everything wrong for their stomach. The problem is that most of us assume natural equals safe. But the stomach doesn't care if something came from a tree or a bag of chips. It reacts to acidity, fermentation, enzyme activity, and internal pressure. And many of the fruits considered healthy hit every one of those triggers hard. As we age, our digestive system becomes more sensitive. The stomach lining thins. Acid production may become erratic. Too much in some people, too little in others. The valve that separates the stomach from the esophagus, called the lower esophageal sphincter, weakens with time. When that happens, even slight pressure from gas or bloating can force acid upward, creating that burning chest pain we know as heartburn. Combine that with acidic or fermentable fruits, and you've got a perfect storm. The fruits that cause the most trouble are often the ones pushed hardest by wellness trends. Take pineapple, for example. It's marketed as anti-inflammatory, rich in enzymes, and great for digestion. But it's also loaded with bromelain and citric acid, both of which can irritate an already inflamed stomach. Or think about citrus fruits like oranges and lemons. Their high vitamin C content makes them seem like immune-boosting miracles. But their pH is so low that they can strip away your stomach's protective mucus layer and leave the esophagus raw and burning. And it's not just acidity that causes trouble. Some fruits contain high levels of natural sugars like fructose, which can ferment inside your gut if your digestion is compromised. That fermentation produces gas, which increases pressure inside your stomach, and that pressure pushes stomach contents back up into the esophagus. This is why even fruits like apples and grapes, which don't taste very acidic, can become dangerous when eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong combination. You might be thinking, but isn't fruit supposed to help me digest better? That's what most people believe. But in reality, if your stomach lining is already irritated, or if your gut bacteria are out of balance, fruits can actually feed the problem. Some fruits act like fuel for the wrong kind of bacteria, the ones that produce gas, disrupt nutrient absorption, and inflame your digestive tract. So what starts as a good habit slowly becomes a daily assault on your insides. It's also important to understand the role of portion and timing. A small amount of fruit, paired properly with other foods and eaten at the right time of day, might be fine. But many people unknowingly stack fruit on top of heavy meals, or eat large fruit salads on an empty stomach. This creates an environment where acidity, sugar, and pressure all collide, and the stomach simply can't cope. The result is a cycle that repeats itself daily. You eat what you think is healthy. You feel burning, bloating, discomfort. You assume it's unrelated. You keep eating the same way, and all the while, your stomach lining erodes, your digestive enzymes weaken, and your inflammation builds. Over time, this doesn't just cause reflux. It can lead to nutrient deficiencies, ulcers, and long-term gastrointestinal issues that are much harder to reverse. It's a painful irony. The foods you trusted to heal, you may actually be making you sicker. And no one ever tells you, because fruit is seen as universally good. But your body is trying to tell you something. That burning in your throat, the bloating that comes after a healthy snack, the fatigue you feel after your light lunch. These aren't random signs. They're warnings. And the sooner you understand what's really happening, the faster you can take back control of your health. Because once you know which fruits to avoid and why they're causing so much harm, everything starts to change. You can eat without fear. You can sleep through the night. You can stop treating symptoms and start healing the real root of the problem. And it all begins by finally questioning what you've always been told and listening to what your body has been trying to say all along. If you've ever struggled with heartburn after eating fruits you thought were healthy, share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another tip that could change your health for the better. You might be surprised to learn that the fruits causing your stomach pain are not exotic or rare. In fact, they're probably sitting in your kitchen right now. These are the fruits you've been told to eat more of, the ones packed with vitamins, the ones featured in commercials, health blogs, and breakfast menus. But when you're dealing with heartburn, acid reflux, or chronic digestive discomfort, some of these superfoods are silently making everything worse. Let's start with pineapple. It looks refreshing. It tastes tropical. It's often recommended for its anti-inflammatory properties because of an enzyme called bromelain. But what most people don't know is that bromelain, when combined with the pineapple's naturally high citric acid content, can irritate the delicate lining of your stomach. And it doesn't take much. Just a few chunks on an empty stomach can trigger a burning sensation that lingers for hours. Pineapple is especially aggressive for those with a weakened esophageal valve or an inflamed gut. It relaxes the lower esophageal sphincter, making it easier for acid to travel upward, causing that familiar burn in your chest and throat. Now think about oranges and lemons. Citrus fruits have become the poster children for health. Their high vitamin C content is supposed to boost immunity, fight off colds, and improve skin. But here's the thing. Their acidity is off the charts. The average pH of an orange is around 3.5. That's strong enough to strip enamel off your teeth, and definitely strong enough to damage your esophagus over time. Drinking orange juice in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, is like pouring acid into a wound. It might taste bright and clean, but what it does inside your digestive tract is anything but gentle. Lemon water has become a morning ritual for many people. But for someone already dealing with reflux or gastritis, it's a daily attack that can eventually wear down your gut's natural defenses. Then there's tomato. It hides in plain sight. Technically a fruit, tomato is a staple in so many diets that we rarely think of it as a potential threat. But the reality is that tomatoes are highly acidic. They contain both citric and malic acid, which means they not only irritate the stomach lining, but also increase stomach acid production. This is why even tomato-based sauces or soups can be problematic. For someone with acid sensitivity, a plate of pasta with tomato sauce isn't comfort food. It's an inflammation bomb. And when combined with pasta or bread, which can create a bloating effect, the pressure in the stomach rises, forcing the acid back toward the throat. You might think apples are safe. After all, they're associated with phrases like, An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But not all apples are created equal. Green apples, in particular, are more acidic than red ones. Their crisp texture and tart flavor come from a higher concentration of malic acid, which is excellent for flavor, but not for your stomach. Eating a green apple when your stomach is empty or irritated can result in increased acid production and a noticeable burning sensation shortly after. Even red apples, while milder, can cause issues if consumed in excess or when paired with other acidic ingredients. Grapes are another fruit that tends to surprise people. They don't taste especially acidic, but their danger lies in something else entirely. Grapes are high in natural sugars, particularly fructose. For people with slow digestion or imbalanced gut bacteria, that fructose ferments quickly. This fermentation produces gas, which builds up pressure inside the stomach. That pressure weakens the esophageal valve over time and becomes one of the main drivers of chronic reflux. On top of that, grapes contain tannins, which can irritate the stomach lining and contribute to nausea or cramping in some individuals. A handful of grapes may seem harmless, but for sensitive stomachs, they can cause significant discomfort. Strawberries are often praised for their antioxidant content and anti-inflammatory benefits. But despite their health reputation, strawberries can be harsh on the digestive system. They contain tiny seeds that can irritate the stomach lining, especially if there is existing inflammation. Their acidity is moderate, but when combined with other fruits or consumed in large quantities, they contribute to an acidic environment that promotes discomfort. What's even more concerning is how strawberries are often included in smoothies or fruit salads with multiple other acidic fruits, creating a dangerous blend that overwhelms your stomach's natural buffering capacity. And then there's watermelon, the ultimate summer fruit. It seems harmless, light, watery, refreshing. But here's what people forget. Watermelon contains over 90% water. Yes, but when consumed in large amounts, it can cause the stomach to expand rapidly. This distension increases internal pressure, which again pushes acid upward. Combine that with its moderate fructose content, and you get a fruit that not only ferments, but physically contributes to reflux. This is especially risky when watermelon is eaten at night, after dinner, or in combination with heavier meals. You go to bed thinking you had a healthy dessert, but wake up hours later with a burning throat and a bitter taste in your mouth. Each of these fruits, on their own, might not seem like a problem, but when consumed frequently, in large portions, or at the wrong times, they create a pattern of damage. You begin to associate your pain with random triggers. Maybe it was stress. Maybe it was that spicy dish you had 2 days ago. Rarely do people connect their digestive issues to the fruits they eat daily. But once you start noticing the pattern, it's hard to unsee it. The morning orange juice, the midday pineapple snack, the grapes at night, the fruit salad after dinner. One by one, they build pressure, raise acidity, weaken your defenses, and leave your stomach raw and exposed. The solution is not to eliminate all fruit. The body needs the vitamins, the fiber, and the antioxidants that fruits provide. But what it desperately does not need is another daily assault masked as a healthy choice. Once you know which fruits are quietly working against your gut, you can start to make safer swaps. You can eat smarter, with intention. You can rebuild your stomach's resilience instead of breaking it down meal after meal. It all starts with awareness, and with recognizing that even the healthiest habits must be personalized to your body's unique needs. Because what nourishes one person can harm another. And when it comes to your stomach, silence isn't always peace. Sometimes it's the quiet damage you need to watch for the most. Let me know in the comments which fruit surprised you the most in today's video, or if you've already made a switch that worked for you. And if you're on a journey to feel better every day, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community focused on real healing. Most people think of digestion as something that happens quickly and cleanly. You eat, your stomach does its job, and the food moves on. But for many, especially as the body ages or when the digestive system is out of balance, digestion becomes a slow, complicated, and sometimes even dangerous process. And one of the biggest hidden threats in this process is fermentation. It sounds harmless at first, maybe even beneficial. After all, fermented foods are good, right? But inside the human gut, the wrong kind of fermentation is like setting off a chemical reaction that leaves your stomach bloated, inflamed, and gasping for relief. It begins with certain fruits. They enter the digestive tract and, instead of being smoothly broken down and absorbed, they linger. Their high sugar content, particularly fructose, becomes food for bacteria that are not supposed to dominate your gut. When these bacteria feast on excess fructose, they produce gas, a lot of it. And that gas creates pressure. Not the kind you notice immediately, but the kind that slowly builds inside the stomach until there is nowhere for it to go but up. That pressure forces open the lower esophageal valve, allowing stomach acid to surge upward, causing burning, regurgitation, and the bitter aftertaste that many learn to live with. This isn't just about a few bubbles in your belly. The gas created during fermentation expands your stomach, distorts your posture, and disrupts your natural digestion rhythm. It pushes against your diaphragm, makes breathing feel heavier, and can even lead to pain that radiates to the chest, pain that many mistake for heart issues. In reality, it's your gut reacting to a combination of sugar overload and microbial chaos. And fruits that seem harmless, like grapes, watermelon, apples, and pears, are often at the center of this internal storm. But it gets more complicated. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria. When balanced, they help digest food, produce nutrients, and protect you from harmful invaders. But when the balance shifts, often due to diet, stress, medications, or aging, these bacteria begin to behave differently. They no longer support you, they compete with you, and they thrive on the sugars and acids found in many popular fruits. The overgrowth of these gas-producing bacteria leads to a state known as dysbiosis, a hidden condition where the gut becomes inflamed, fragile, and hypersensitive. In this state, even small amounts of fruit can trigger a massive response, leading to bloating, cramps, and that all-too-familiar wave of reflux. Older adults are especially vulnerable. With age, stomach acid tends to decrease, not increase. Contrary to popular belief, many people with acid reflux actually have too little stomach acid, not too much. This low-acid environment slows digestion, allows food to ferment longer, and encourages bacterial overgrowth. It also means the stomach struggles to protect itself from irritation. The mucus lining thins. The muscular movements that keep food flowing weaken. The system becomes sluggish, reactive, and easily overwhelmed. It's no wonder that something as simple as a fruit smoothie or a handful of grapes can set off a digestive spiral that lasts all day. Let's take a real-life scenario. A woman in her late 50s starts her day with what she believes is a healthy breakfast: a bowl of mixed fruit, a bit of granola, and a glass of orange juice. Within an hour, she begins to feel bloated. A strange tightness builds under her ribs. She dismisses it. By late morning, she has a bitter taste rising in her throat and a heavy, uncomfortable sensation that makes it hard to focus. She takes an antacid, tells herself it's stress, and repeats the same breakfast the next day. What she doesn't realize is that her breakfast is feeding the wrong bacteria, inflaming her gut lining, and triggering a daily cycle of hidden inflammation and digestive exhaustion. The discomfort isn't just physical. Over time, this constant low-grade gut stress impacts mood, energy, and even mental clarity. The gut and brain are deeply connected. When your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, it sends distress signals to your nervous system. This can manifest as anxiety, brain fog, irritability, and even depression. Many people spend months chasing these symptoms with supplements, medications, or therapy, never realizing that the root cause might be fermenting right inside them. fed by fruits they were told to eat more of. Even more concerning is how this state of inflammation can reduce your ability to absorb vital nutrients. Iron, magnesium, calcium, and B vitamins all depend on a healthy gut lining and proper acid levels for absorption. When that process is interrupted by fermentation and pressure, deficiencies begin to develop. Hair begins to thin. Muscles feel weaker. Fatigue becomes a constant. And yet it all starts with a stomach that's out of balance and under attack from the inside. This isn't about creating fear around fruit. It's about understanding context. Your body is unique. What works for someone else might not work for you. Especially when you're dealing with chronic digestive issues, the timing, quantity, and type of fruit matter more than most people realize. Eating acidic or high-sugar fruits in isolation, on an empty stomach, or combined with heavy meals, can unleash a chain reaction that leaves you exhausted and inflamed. Recognizing the signs of this internal disruption is the first step. Pay attention to the patterns. Does your bloating start after breakfast? Does your energy crash after fruit smoothies? Do you feel pressure under your ribs that gets worse after certain snacks? These are not coincidences. They are clues. Your body speaks in symptoms. And when it comes to fruit-induced fermentation, the message is often subtle but persistent. By listening to these signals and learning what your body actually needs, you can begin to restore balance. The goal is not to eliminate every fruit. It is to stop feeding the flames, to reduce the internal pressure, to calm the chaos that has been building silently for years. Only then can real healing begin. Not just from the symptoms on the surface, but from the deeper damage done by a gut pushed past its limit. Not all fruits are the enemy. While many can irritate, ferment, and inflame your digestive system when eaten without awareness, others can do the exact opposite. They can soothe, calm, repair, and restore. These are the fruits that work with your body, not against it. They help heal the lining of your stomach, reduce pressure in your gut, and create a gentle environment where digestion flows more naturally. For anyone who has been suffering in silence, overwhelmed by conflicting nutrition advice, this is where hope begins to take shape. Have you noticed certain fruits triggering your digestion? Tell us below. Your insight could be the answer someone else is searching for. And if you're ready for more simple, life-changing health tips like this, make sure to subscribe and stay connected with us. It starts with choosing fruits that are naturally low in acid, easy to digest, and packed with enzymes or compounds that aid healing. One of the most powerful examples is papaya. This fruit is a natural digestive ally. It contains an enzyme called papain, which helps break down proteins and eases the workload of your stomach. Papaya is soft, soothing, and rich in water and fiber, which makes it incredibly gentle on the gut lining. For people who experience acid reflux or post-meal heaviness, a few slices of ripe papaya after lunch or dinner can make a dramatic difference. It's not just fruit, it's functional healing, wrapped in a sweet orange package. Another underrated hero is the ripe banana. Not the green ones, those are starchy and harder to digest. But the spotted, yellow ripe bananas have a natural coating effect on the stomach. They form a kind of protective film that shields your gut lining from excess acid. They're also high in potassium, which supports electrolyte balance, and their soft texture makes them ideal for inflamed or sensitive digestive systems. A banana mid-morning or before bed can calm your stomach and help you sleep without the gnawing discomfort of acid creeping up your chest. Then, there are pears. Often overlooked in the fruit world, pears are among the most alkaline fruits you can eat. They contain a good amount of soluble fiber, especially pectin, which helps regulate bowel movements and slow digestion gently. Pears also have a high water content, which hydrates your body and dilutes any potential acid excess. Their mild flavor and low acid level make them one of the safest fruits for people with GERD or gastritis. Whether eaten raw, lightly steamed, or blended into a gut-friendly smoothie, Pears offer quiet support to a system that has been overwhelmed for too long. Blueberries, though slightly more acidic than the fruits mentioned above, are packed with anti-inflammatory compounds and antioxidants. They are particularly rich in anthocyanins, which have been shown to reduce inflammation at the cellular level. When consumed in moderation and paired with other alkaline foods, blueberries can offer healing benefits without causing irritation. They also support the microbiome by feeding beneficial bacteria, which helps restore gut balance over time. A small handful of blueberries with oatmeal or mixed with a pear can create a perfect harmony of taste and function. What truly matters, though, isn't just which fruits you eat. It's also how and when you eat them. Many people consume fruit the wrong way without even realizing it. Eating acidic or high-sugar fruits on an empty stomach, right before bed, or immediately after a large meal can wreak havoc on your digestive tract. Instead, fruits should be timed with care. Gentle options like banana or papaya in the mid-morning can act as a reset for the gut. A light portion of pear in the afternoon can prevent blood sugar crashes without triggering reflux. Avoid combining multiple acidic fruits at once, and be cautious about drinking fruit juices, which concentrate the sugars and remove the fiber that normally slows digestion. For some, even the healing fruits can be tricky when the stomach is deeply inflamed. That's where preparation matters. Light steaming, gentle blending, or pairing fruits with a calming tea like chamomile or slippery elm can make a huge difference. The goal is always to reduce digestive burden and promote ease. Your body has the ability to heal. It just needs the right tools and a break from the daily stress we unknowingly place on it. These adjustments may seem small, but over time, they add up. When you remove the silent triggers and replace them with healing alternatives, your stomach begins to breathe again. The burning stops. The bloating fades. The fatigue lifts. You regain trust in your body. And instead of being afraid of your next meal, you start looking forward to it with confidence and calm. You don't have to give up on fruit. You just have to get smarter about it. Food is powerful. It can be medicine or poison, depending on how it's used. By learning which fruits soothe your stomach and how to integrate them thoughtfully into your routine, you begin the process of repair. Not just symptom relief, but deep internal healing. And once that begins, everything changes. Thank you for spending these few minutes taking care of your health and learning something that could transform your everyday life. If this helped you, imagine what you'll uncover next. There's another video on the screen right now that takes this one step further. It shows you the top 3 morning habits that could be secretly sabotaging your digestion every single day. You deserve to feel better. Let's keep going. Your healing journey is just getting started.